grapes are sorted again, any poor quality berries are removed before they pass to the crusher and destemmer, and then are fed into the fermenting tanks, or lagarche. Historically, the grapes were trodden by foot to extract the maximum amount of colour and flavour from the skins.
At Graham's, we've always done most of our winemaking for our vintage ports in traditional treading tanks. Nowadays, it's getting much harder to find people to tread, especially after a long day in the vineyard. People don't want to tread for 2 or 3 hours in the evening.
It is not easy to find a substitute for treading, but over recent years, Graham's have pioneered the development of a revolutionary new machine that closely follows the actions and effects of treading, but with several advantages. The stainless steel construction provides permanent temperature control and maintains purity of fruit. It is one of the most innovative and advanced pieces of winemaking equipment to be found anywhere in the world, and has exceeded every expectation in producing wines of superb quality. The robotic lagar faithfully replicates the very best of the ancient foot treading, but improves on it in various ways. The stainless steel feet squeeze the grape skins against the floor of the lagar, releasing colour and flavours into the juice. The pressure exerted by the mechanical feet is carefully calculated to be exactly that of a human foot, and will not damage the pips, which would impart excessive tannins to the wine. All the colour and much of the flavour is in the skins of the grapes. After 2 or 3 hours, the sugar in the grape starts to be converted to alcohol by the natural yeasts. After the treading is completed, the robotic lagar is programmed to push the cap 2/3 of the way down into the juice to complete the extraction of all the flavours and colour. Treading in the lagarche used to end in the evening with a party, but the robotic lagarche carefully measured treading can continue long into the night, well after its tired human counterparts have retired to bed. At the desired level of natural sweetness, the young wine is run off and grape brandy is added. The wine made at Malvedos is nearly always of vintage port quality, deep, rich, aromatic and complex. The young port is kept in large oak vats at the Quinta over the cold winter months to let it marry and settle. The wine is carefully and regularly tasted and given an early assessment. It will be kept here until it's ready for its journey in the early spring down to the lodges of Vila Nova de Gaia, just across the river Douro from the city of Oporto. These lodges, close to the Atlantic Ocean, have a more moderate year-round temperature than the cellars up at the Quinta and offer better maturation conditions. Graham's is one of the few port houses to maintain its own team of coopers to look after its barrels, or pipes as they're known. Here there's been no change. The traditional methods are still the best. Aging in seasoned wood is very important for the development of great port. It will soften and round out the strong young wine without imparting any excess wood flavours. Much care is taken with these pipes. Great ports will spend many years in their embrace. Traditionally, the finest quality lots lying in the lodges are identified by the 6 grapes symbol on the cask ends, some of which are bottled young as 6 grapes reserve port. Other ports are allowed to age 10, 20, 30 or even 40 years in wood before blending into Graham's legendary aged tawnies. The most famous type of port, vintage port, is aged in bottle after only 2 years in wood, with no fining or filtration. Vintage port is only made in exceptional years when the shipper feels that everything has combined to produce the perfect wine, something that may only occur 2 or 3 times in a decade. Graham's excellent late-bottled vintage port is bottled when ready to drink after maturing in wood for some 5 to 6 years. The key decisions on all wines are taken in the tasting room. Here the wines are constantly assessed as to their progress. The Symington family looks at the development of wines made by traditional treading, by the robotic lagarche and by the plunger tanks. This is a most critical part of creating a great wine, bringing to bear all the family's experience in judging the likely development of the wines over the next 15 to 20 years, and ensuring that they maintain the distinctive Graham's style. As the great Graham's vintage ports are unlikely to be open for 15 years or more, and may well be kept for a century, everything needs to be carefully controlled. Graham's today makes its ports in the time-honoured ways as well as with the most advanced and innovative technology. But it is here in the Douro, in the vineyards, where it all starts. The care of the vineyards by succeeding generations of the Symington family is at the heart of the quality of Graham's port. The vintage ports they produce are among the finest wines in the world. They are unmatched in their richness and elegance. A glass of Graham's vintage port is one of life's greatest pleasures.